Go.
Hey there guys, Cam Hatch on behalf of Tread Athletics. I'm here to show you some FRC techniques. This is for guys who are struggling with external rotation. What this is going to give you the ability to do is bridge the gap between mobility and using that mobility functionally. So to bridge the gap between that, we're going to go through some exercises. So what you do is you grab a Jaeger band. Everybody has access to Jaeger bands or something like this. So what you can do is you lock in right here. So I'm going to go at 3 positions, actually 4, sorry. So you're going to start out at 30 degrees, and I like to do this when you first begin for 20 or 30 seconds. So what you do is you go out here at 30 degrees, and you externally rotate as far as you can without maximizing your trunk position too much. So you're staying pretty neutral. And what you're going to do is you're going to externally rotate as hard as you can go. And as you reach that end range, at that tension in the band, you move in ever so slightly. And what you keep doing is you keep cranking on the external rotation. So you're creating that external rotation by yourself, not artificially, through foam rolling or another technique.
So where is that tension coming from? Right at the shoulder joint, right?
Yes, right at the shoulder joint.
And you're trying to keep the ribcage down throughout this?
Yes, absolutely. So you do that for, like I said, 20 to 30 seconds when you're first starting out. When you do eventually gain that optimal end range that you want, I go for 10 or 15 seconds just as a warm-up. So then you go at 60 degrees and it's the same thing. You're creating that external rotation at that end range. And then when you hit that end range, you move in ever so slightly. And you try and keep that light tension on the band at all times. When you hit that 20 to 30 second range, you stop. And then I'll do it again at 90.
So the key here is that he's creating not just length, but also strength in those new ranges. We're not just passively cranking on him into external, but he's actually contracting his way into those external rotation positions. So we're not just creating length, but we're also creating strength in those extreme positions. So you can see he's shaking, contracting super hard into external rotation at his shoulder joint.
Okay. And then the last one is going to be at 120. Here at 120, it's a little bit of a combo, so you're going to work on shoulder flexion and external rotation at the same time. So right here, your arm goes straight up. What you're going to do is you're going to contract as far as you can with your shoulder flexion, and while simultaneously trying to externally rotate.
So he's cranking that scap into posterior tilt, and he's cranking that shoulder into external rotation, contracting hard, stepping in, trying to go a little bit further.
Yes.
Again, 10 to 15 second hold here. And then you want to take him through the shoulder flexion ones as well.
Yes. And then here, you're going to do shoulder abduction. So you can go out to the side. You're going to create a 45-degree angle with your body, and you're going to crank as far as you can possibly go. Still creating tension through the band. Like I said, 10 or 15 seconds a piece. 20 to 30 seconds if you're starting out to gain that optimal end range. Then you go at 45 degrees, same thing, turning your body to a 45-degree angle while simultaneously having your arm at that same angle. And you're just trying to create as much end range as you possibly can.
So for a lot of you guys, when you first try this, you're gonna feel a little bit of cramping in those muscles at some of these end ranges. And that's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just indicating that you're weak in those positions. So expect a little bit of cramping, especially posterior shoulder, especially kind of low trap area in some of these exercises.
And then the last one is like I said earlier, the shoulder flexion. You're trying to keep your bicep as close to your ear as possible while getting that optimal end range that you're trying to achieve.
So you're not necessarily trying to crank the shoulder joint into hyperabduction or hyperflexion. You're trying to take that scap and posteriorly tilt the scap to get that range from, while keeping the rib cage down.
Like I said, guys, 20 to 30 seconds when you first start out. What I found is that I gained 10 to 15 degrees end range within 2 weeks. It's harder to integrate those into your mechanics at first because your body naturally has to get adjusted to it. but it will give you those optimal end ranges to create higher velocities if your patterning catches up to your external rotation. Like I said, guys, Cam Hatch on behalf of Tread Athletics, thank you for listening.